about the fact that maybe you felt a little bit behind, probably by the time you got here. How much different do you feel now, and how much more comfortable do you feel where you're at now?
Yeah, now during the spring process, I feel way more confident. I feel like when I first got here throughout the fall camp and summer, like stuff was just being rushed and just going like one day at a time. But I feel like more now through the spring, everything's slowed down, more meetings and stuff like that. So I've been able to catch up more. Plus, me being here in the fall camp helped me already process everything.
What's been important for making that game to slow down?
Just understanding the meetings more, like the coaches say, take the meetings to the field, just understanding how to be a pro more, and just being like more adjusted to college level. I'd say.
What do you expect to bring to the team this year? Like, what will people see when you're on the field?
Just explosiveness, whatever I can honestly bring to the team, whether it's offense, special teams, just energy, however I can help the receiver group. I know my skill set, what I can bring, but just whatever the team needs, I can provide.
Coach Day was talking yesterday about Parnell kind of growing as a leader. How have you seen him kind of develop these past few months, just in terms of his voice in the locker room?
Yeah, since I got here, I have kind of seen him develop more as a vocal leader, especially in our wide receiver room. I think he's probably like the oldest, or somewhere around the oldest guy in the room. So it's him. I've noticed him develop as a leader vocally.
Brandon Innes was another guy he mentioned. It seemed like even last year, even if he wasn't playing as much as a starter, he was still one of the leaders in the room. Just how important is his voice? How respected is he in the receivers room?
Yeah, he's very respected and important in our room. He's just known, not even in the receiver room, but as the whole team, as like our energy guy. Like when days are down or slow or whatever, like he's known to bring in energy and just hyping everybody up. Whether he's like impacting on the field or not, he's just known for that.
What's behind the number 5?
I don't know. I just kind of liked it. I kind of wanted to wear it when I was in high school. But, I mean, it was open when I got here, so I was like, of course I'm going to take it. I know it's a big footsteps behind this number, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to take it.
So you've heard the Garrett stuff?
Yeah, I see it a lot.
What do you think? You like that, or are you just like, I'm my own guy?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I understand how good he was and how much legacy he left here, but at the end of the day, I just want to be my own person and not have to live in anybody else's shoes. But I understand how much of a legacy he left the number behind.
You talked about where you've grown since you arrived last summer. How much of a shock was it when you first got on campus?
I mean, it was a pretty big shock. Just the adjustment from high school to college, especially with that 6 month window. I had really been out off season just working out, but just coming here, adjusting to college, the speed, tempo, everything, it was a pretty big shock.
Does it feel crazy to think you haven't even been here fully yet?
Yeah, I think about that all the time. I'm like, if I would have got here last year, like when all of the mid-year enrollees came, like I probably would just not be in season. So it is pretty crazy to think about. And Coach Hart will always tell me like you do have a lot of catching up to do. But I told him like as we got in the winter, like I understand what he meant by that.
When you look at last season, what did you take away from that year? Obviously, maybe not getting on the field as much as you wanted, but I imagine there was a lot of growth, things like that. What was your takeaway from the freshman?
Just understanding how the games go, how the college play is, just the tempo, how fast it is. And I'm learning from Emeka. I feel like Emeka was a pretty solid pro even when he was here last year, and I learned a lot from him. Like I said, understanding just the playbook more, just the tempo around our offense, everything like that. That's how I learned.
What's your relationship like with Jamal?
We're pretty close. I say neither of us are pretty outspoken, but I mean we're pretty cool. Like I'm tight with all the guys in the receiver room, honestly.
It's just interesting because you got here early and had such a big impact. You're developing, and now like you both could have an impact together.
Yeah.
I guess classmates, like what is that? What would that mean if you guys can kind of come together for this team?
Yeah, it would feel good. Like you said, he got here last year, had an amazing impact, speechless as a freshman. But yeah, I mean, it would feel pretty good just to both of us in the same class to have the same kind of impact.
What's it been like watching Brian Hartline kind of step into his new role? And what have you thought of his offense?
I feel like he's more aggressive, but I like it. He still does a great job coaching us up, even though he doesn't maybe have as much time. But I do feel like he still does a great job with us, understanding he has to be with us and the whole offense, catering to them.
You talked about other guys, guys like that. How much of an impact do other coaches make helping to keep kind of the receiver room and the standard in there? And even some of the older guys have been a part of it for a while.
Yeah, I feel like Coach Jordan and the older guys, the vets in our room, do a good job of stepping up when Coach Hart's not available. I feel like Coach Jordan did a great job, even when I first got here last year. Just having extra meetings with him outside of our already meetings, having extra meetings with him, just learning more, just taking away from him. I feel like he's been doing a great job since I got here.
What do you think of the freshmen that have come in?
I think they're solid. Are you talking about in our receiver room? Or just, yeah, I think they're solid. I like all of them. I feel like they all they all can grow definitely, and they all like I know what they're feeling because of how I just got here last summer, but I feel like they're all doing a great job.
But you have to remind some of those guys that, hey, you know, just because we've been here longer doesn't mean like we're too much further ahead than you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. But I'm not really. I don't really consider myself like a young guy anymore. Since I've been here throughout the summer and the season, like I kind of just trying to prepare myself to be a vet almost. We're not really a younger guy, but I do try to be like a veteran type of person to the young guys.
When did that start for you? When did you stop feeling like a young guy?
I'd say really just the upcoming of this spring and the winter. I feel like I learned a lot as being in season last year with the team, and that like I could have a bigger role and just take a bigger step with the team and the offense. So I don't really want to just consider myself young anymore.
Saturday's practice, it seems like the competition between the receivers and the corners is so fascinating to watch. Just how talented both sides are. Just what have you thought of that cornerback room and the way that they battled against you guys in practice?
Yeah. It's always like that. BIA, they're loaded. I mean, it's always like that. Even when people aren't here to see, like we go back and forth at it almost like every day we practice. So, I mean, it's not new to us. Just as a standard BIA for Zone 6, I'd say.
Who's the best trash talker on the other side?
I'd probably say IGB or J Main. They both get after it.
Do you feel like the return game is a place you can make an impact this year?
Yeah, I do feel that way. I have did a little bit of punt returning with some of our returners throughout spring. I feel like I could impact there.
How much are you looking forward to being in the shoe Saturday, being part of the offense, really for the first time as a Buckeye?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just to actually get the step foot and actually like get rolling in the shoe. It'll be a great feeling. I'm pretty excited for it.